We will Dr. Tottenham rear its ugly head this evening. Let's talk about Tottenham versus Newcastle. Stick around, subscribe, and let's break this match down. Both teams are not in great form at the moment. We can't buy, Spurs can't buy a win at the moment. Newcastle are struggling. I mean, who would believe at the start of the season that Newcastle and Spurs would both be struggling near the wrong end of the table, really, and probably fighting to get back into Europe. Eddie Howe's under a lot of pressure at Newcastle, same as Thomas Frank, which is mad, because I don't think either of them are bad managers. I'll tell you what, I'll take Eddie Howe at Spurs right about now, because I think he plays some good football. But obviously something isn't quite right at both football clubs. Maybe with Newcastle, for example, maybe Eddie Howe's taken them as far as he can, and at Spurs, maybe obviously injuries haven't helped, and recruitment hasn't helped either. Recruitment over the years has been really bad at Tottenham, but hopefully we have a good game tonight and we can get a win. If I show the league table here, as you can see, Tottenham are 15th on 29 points, only 6 points above the relegation zone at the moment. I mean, we should never be near that relegation places, a club like Tottenham. It's getting very worrying. Instead of looking up towards the top end of the table and trying to get into Europe, we're looking up above. We're looking over our shoulders at like West Ham, who are starting to have a bit of momentum and starting to pick up. Dr. Tottenham woke them up the other week, and suddenly they've hardly lost since then. It's a good job that Chelsea beat them the other week when they were 2-0 up. Otherwise, would only be 3 points clear, and that's not good enough. And Newcastle, for example, they're not in great form themselves. They're really struggling. And I think Newcastle got a pretty decent side, but I think it just proves with Champions League and the Premier League, it's hard to do both. But as you see on the table, they've got they're 12th with 33 points, so they're only 4 points clear of Spurs. So this is a must-win game for us. But obviously Newcastle, I think it's a must-win game for them as well. But what do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments. What do you think? Who do you think is more important to the win? And what do you think what do you think? How do you think the game will go? Drop your comments and let me know below. Our head-to-head record against Newcastle the last few years hasn't actually been very good, as you can check on the table below. We've obviously we won 4-1 at their place a couple of years ago. At home a couple of years ago. But in general, we lost 6-1 there. We've lost 4-0 at their place. We lost 2-1. We lost 2-1 at home against them. So we've had some, record before they was taken over by, their PIF. I think we had a good record against Newcastle. I remember the first game against them. We just see it on the table. There, we won 3-2 against them in their first game since taking over. But we've actually really struggled against them. But early in the season, we got a 2-2 draw, and I thought we played quite well in the game. And it was obviously Romero that saved us. Fortunately, he's not available for this game coming up. Form-wise against Newcastle, we've actually done all right. No, we haven't done too good against them in the past, but both teams struggling. Our home form, we need to start picking up wins at home. Not good enough at home, so hopefully we can get a good result and stay clear of relegation places, because I'm a bit worried. But anyone You know, anyone worried about the relegation places like me, or am I overreacting a bit? But it's a bit worrying, being down near the bottom. If you look at our previous results, um, we're on, like I said, we're on really bad form. I mean, we beat, obviously we lost to Manchester United at the weekend, and we drew Man City and Burnley, and lost to West Ham and Bournemouth in the last 5 games. But we've not actually won this year. On really bad form at the moment. Um, and I think the squad's not actually as bad as our form suggests. Yes, we've not got a great side, but we've not got the 15th worst team in the league. This team should at least be 10th, in my opinion. But obviously we're struggling for form. Is it tactics? Obviously injuries are not helping, and suspensions and things like that. But it all adds up. But Newcastle, if you look at their table here, Newcastle are not in great form either. They've lost their last 3 Premier League games. Obviously, I was not expecting to lose to Brentford at the weekend. Brentford are playing well at the moment, but Newcastle at St James's Park are a different team, and they have the crowd behind them, but they just didn't seem the same. But obviously they're going for a bit of a bad time, and all clubs do that. But they've still got some good players, and we still need to be wary of them. But hopefully, if they pick up good form, it's after this game and not before it. But just we desperately need the points. My key player for Spurs, and I think we need a big game from him tonight, is obviously Xavi Simons. Obviously with Maddison being out, he's our only really recognised number 10, and I think he's been excellent lately. Definitely improved, settled more into the Premier League, and a bit of flair from him and a bit of passion. He plays with a lot of passion and flair, and definitely need a big game from him tonight. But yeah, I just think if he turns up and shows a bit of magic, then I think we can edge this one. But obviously it's gonna be a tough game. But Newcastle have got a good midfield. I'm always a bit wary of their midfield. I think it's very strong. They've got some top players like Joe Linton, Tonali can play there. Obviously Ramsey. Ramsey's, I think, he'd get in our team. And obviously Guimaraes, the captain, and I think he's the player that we Spurs need to watch out for the most tonight. Guimaraes, I think he's a fantastic player. Pops out a few goals, has a lot of passion, and he's the sort of player that we should do in our midfield. But obviously, but hopefully, but I think obviously if we keep him quiet, I think that's a massive bonus up front. And not, I've got top or decent strikers, but I think it's their midfield that's the most worry. But yeah, I think hopefully we can beat their midfield and stop them. And I think we've got a chance if that happens. So my prediction tonight, if everything goes well, and everything lines with each other, and maybe we get a bit of luck in the way. I can't go against Tottenham. I know we're not in great form. Newcastle not in great form themselves, but I'm going to go for a Tottenham 2-1 home win, and I'm going to go for Xavi and Solanke with the goals for Spurs, and I'm going to go for Guimaraes to get a goal for Newcastle. But dropping your comments below what you think the score will be, and the goal scorers, and if you tune in for a video this afternoon, I'll give you my predicted lineup. But thanks for your time. Like and subscribe to the channel because it really helps it out, and see you on the next video.